To call this a biography would be a serious understatement. If you ever have an American edition to this book, I would suggest the subtitle, Everything You Ever Wanted to Know About Tipu Sultan But Were Afraid to Ask. Tipu Sultan, by any standards, is actually a very, very complex figure in our history. His defeat and death can be considered a turning point when it came to the fate of peninsular India. By highlighting the Tipu English binary to the exclusion of a more complicated reality, a particular narrative has been advanced over the years. About this book, to call this a biography would be a serious understatement, because it is something very much more, capturing not just the flavor of a fast-moving and a complicated era, but offering insights into politics, strategy, administration, sociology, and even diplomacy. It is both granular in its detail and creative in many ways in its spirit, making the reader a fly in the wall in Tipu Sultan's palace. There is an honesty as well as an objectivity, I think, in Vikram's approach. And I suppose in this case, that would not have been entirely easy. In fact, if you ever have an American edition to this book, I would suggest the subtitle, Everything You Ever Wanted to Know About Tipu Sultan But Were Afraid to Ask. Now, Tipu Sultan, by any standards, is actually a very, very complex figure in our history. On the one hand, he has the reputation as a key figure who resisted the imposition of British colonial control over India. And it is a fact that his defeat and death can be considered a turning point when it came to the fate of peninsular India. At the same time, he evokes strong adverse sentiments, even today, in many regions, by some in Mysore itself, in Coorg, and in Malabar. Contemporary history writing, certainly at the national level, has focused largely on the former aspect, underplaying, if not neglecting, the latter. And let's be honest, this was not an accident. Now, history in all societies is complicated, and the politics of the day often indulges in cherry-picking facts. To a considerable extent, that has happened in the case of Tipu Sultan. By highlighting the Tipu English binary to the exclusion of a more complicated reality, a particular narrative has been advanced over the years. Dr. S.L. Bhairappa's foreword, which all of you would read when you read the book, I think is a very blunt reminder of that particular debate. This book, therefore, has a very special value because what it does is it not only presents facts about Tipu Sultan for the reader to make his or her own judgment, but it also, and to my mind this is very important, it also brings out the context in all its intricacy. In that process, I can see that Vikram would have had many challenges of orthodoxy to overcome. And these, by the way, I must say, are not specific to the treatment of Tipu Sultan. How much of our past has been airbrushed, how awkward issues have been glossed over, how facts are tailored for regime convenience. These are actually basic questions which confront us all today. As a product myself of an institution that was at the center of these politically driven endeavors, I can well appreciate the need to present an accurate representation of history. In the last decade, the changes in our political dispensation has encouraged the emergence of alternative perspectives and balanced accounts. We are no longer prisoners of a vote bank, nor is it politically incorrect to bring out inconvenient truths. Obviously, there are many more subjects on which the same degree of objectivity is needed.